do we want to start our WrestleMania preview with, like you said, stand and deliver?
Yeah, I would feel so. I mean, it's going to be the first show of the weekend. I think you kind of have no choice but to start off there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, the first match on the docket, we don't actually have an official opponent yet because we will find out on Tuesday who is going to take on Braun Breaker and Corbin. Nick, I think you had the three options that were coming that way.
LWO, Axiom and Frazier, aka Not Man and Robin, and also the OC.
So one of the three. Any early predictions? And I guess we'll start with Anthony on this one. Who will face the tag team champions first and foremost?
So the OC's been kicking around in NXT from what I can tell for a minute, couple of weeks there. Seems like they're trying to build something strong with them. I'm gonna say the OC is gonna face the tag team champions at Stand and Deliver.
Fair. I mean, not a bad show. I'll take the LWO. I mean, I think they're still trying to make it a bit of a focus and everything.
Okay.
Oddly enough, and I think that they work well in NXT. You're not wrong with it being potentially the Good Brothers. I'll let you give your suggestion first, KJ, because I have a feeling that there's a certain obvious result, at least on one side. Not saying the results one side, but yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna actually agree with Anthony. I think the OC was brought down there for a reason. I think Tama Tonga's still in play. And I think that they win not only the tournament, they will also beat the Wolf Dogs because Braun's bye-bye.
Well, and that's part of what I was going to say. I think that Braun Breaker and especially Baron Corbin attached to it, they're done with NXT. So I think whether it is LW, any one of the three teams that wins that match, I feel like are going to be the team that wins the tag team titles.
Okay. So you don't see the champs retaining?
No. Well, like you even said, Braun's going up to SmackDown. I think Corbin follows suit. Whatever. And you could have them in the probably new SmackDown tag team division.
Oh, I like that. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, I didn't think about having Braun Breaker and Corbin in the tag team division on SmackDown. That's actually something interesting. I know with Corbin going back down to NXT, he's kind of, rejuvenated his career in a way. So yeah, seeing him in the tag team division with Braun Breaker on SmackDown, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know where they would put Braun outside of the tag team division. I mean, if you do him solo, you've got to break this pairing up, I feel a little bit. So, and especially if, spoiler alert, down the road, we split the tag team titles or anything like that, you need a solid tag team division. So I think this is a solidified tag team that you could add in there that you could slot into your tag team titles specifically for SmackDown, and people will be fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I like them as a team. I think they've developed good chemistry. They found a good groove. They're kind of funny. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, I would say now I don't keep up with NXT, a lot, but I did know that there was a feud between these two, and that turned into a tag team. I know it was a major feud with Corbin and Braun, so that turned into a tag team. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, they've
finally been the team that could coexist. They're the two dorky Kurt Angles that just somehow managed to pair up against each other.
There you go. All right, that one's pretty straightforward, so we won't spend too much time on it, folks, but definitely see your answers coming in. We will click on them as we go. But a lot of title matches on Stand and Deliver, pretty much all of them except one. So up next, the North American Championship. It will be on the line as Oba Femi defends against Briggs and Dijak.
Now, on a side note, how do we feel that there's only so far allegedly currently 5 matches added for this show? There's not 7, there's not 17. Shout out Tony Khan. Anything like that. That we're only 5 matches in, so I feel like a lot of these matches are going to get some time here.
Yeah. With Triple H and Shawn Michaels, it's just kind of a trend with like 5 or 6 matches. I think we've seen a couple of pay-per-views or premium live events with like 4. So yeah, give these folks some time and let them cook.
Yeah, I keep saying it, quality over quantity. We know some other bookers like to give us quantity over quality. Yeah, there's no reason to have matches that could be saved for, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, your usual weekly show, and then just shove him in there to be like, well, see how many matches we had on our big card. I'd rather 7, 5, 6, whatever the number ends up being, solid matches that have a good amount of time to breathe.
Fair enough. Well, and I'll say this as the Dijakinita fan and everything. Is anyone not taking Obafemi?
Anthony?
I don't think I'm taking him. I think I'm
No.
taking. I
What?
think I'm taking Dijak. I don't know.
You're
I
going
think-
to go against me. You want to take the Dijakinita?
I've seen like what he's been doing a little bit, and I'm actually kind of liking it. So I'm taking Dijak to become the new champ.
You ain't liking Obafemi?
I mean, he's great.
One man out there wrestling children.
He's great and all, but I really think Dijak might take it.
Ooh. I find it so hard right now to bet against Ova. And I mean, Briggs is on the come up. He's done good things since separating from Bar Rescue. Dijak's a guy that almost deserves the win because he's been such a good hand, constantly in great wrestling matches. But Obafemi is just on a different level.
The only way I see him losing this match is he's already done with NXT. He's already moving
They just
on up.
fast-track him?
It just literally. Well, think about it. He's on that Trick Williams, I would say, level of like deserves a fast track, has established it. I think as long as you really treat it with kid gloves a little bit and just don't over fuck it up, you can continue to grow that a la Tiffany Stratton. That instant jump from NXT to the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on the fast track, it's possible. Man, I mean, it's not even something I considered yet. I was like,
oh, that would be the only way he loses. That's the only way.
Only way. They have to double stack him and then figure out who was on top.
I'm looking at the chat, and there's a few that agree with me with Dijak. So
yeah, you're not alone.
Here. I'm not alone.
You know what I think Dijak should win? One of the interesting comments, I clicked on it, but a lot of people talking about potentially adding a like a 6 women's match from NXT. This one here involving the former.
Oh,
but we'll see. No announcement on that yet.
Rolled his eyes. He's definitely.
Well, no. I feel like I can already name the competitors in this match. It's going to be JC Jane.
Yep.
Kiana James, Izzy Dame taking on Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and
the new squirrel.
Who was the last one that was just out there with her?
You said you could name it.
Don't you fucker. Kalani Jordan.
Yeah.
See, screw you. I could name it.
I got there. Yeah, very possible. We'll see. That could be an NXT match as well, but they could add it. I mean, everything's pretty much geared towards the championships. So, will they slide in like a little palate cleanser in there? We'll find out.
Even then, that fits. I mean, we've only seen 5 matches out of there where I would expect maybe 1 to 2 more, one maybe a pre-show match or anything like that. So, yeah.
Dijak deserves the title in NXT, but I don't see it right now. Poor Dijak. He's such a good worker. Just move him up. Fuck it.
He's just the biggest victim of circumstance. Like, he was there and could have been North American champion, but Keith Lee was a thing. And then he got caught up into Retribution and then was T-Bar. And then now he's there and Obafemi's a thing. Like, there is constantly a fucking roadblock to this man moving anywhere but forward.
Right. Well, it was T-Bar and Mace or something like that. Yeah.
Actually, shit. Can we remember the names of Retribution? There's Mace, T-Bar, Slapjack. Reckoning was Mia Yim.
Yeah, but what was Nightmare? What was
what? No, I think that whole story was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was. Well, she was only there for a second. And Martinez, what was her?
Yeah.
And then there was Ali.
Well, yeah, no, you had Mercedes Martinez. Yeah, you had Ali. Well, no, and Reckoning was Mia Yim.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
You
it didn't
should-
work. What a
none of
shit
that
show
works.
that ended up being.
Yeah, that didn't last long, and it was completely terrible.
Right. Well, with all that being said, being that there's not much to debate with these ones, up next, this one should be interesting. Roxanne Perez taking on Lyra Valkyria, the Bird Lady.
Caca. Roxanne Perez wins this one.
I was gonna say the
Oh.
same thing.
Okay,
It's
I'm
the
gonna
title
say
she never
Roxanne too.
lost. Caca, caca. She's gonna pluck that fucking woman like a chicken that's
Mhm.
gonna get deep fried.
I'm actually surprised that you went with Roxanne. I'm. This will be a, we'll go across the board with Roxanne on this one. Roxy, definitely the new attitude, the heel vibe, everything she's doing. I would partly expected Nick to say, well, she's going to lose because she's going up, but
I mean, I can make that argument if you want. I'll take that defense, but yeah, no, I think Caca just gets plucked.
well, speaking of plucking, I mean, yeah, Roxy's been on fire. I like her. I like what she's doing. I'm going Roxy all the way on this one. I think this whole new attitude's working really well for her.
And she's getting a lot of praise for it, even though too of like everybody's like, this is a whole brand new Roxanne Perez. I'm like, I guess you and I who have been watching NXT every week, like we've kind of seen this very much leading up to it.
Yeah.
We've seen the build. This isn't a surprise or anything.
So it was like a progression to where she is now.
Oh, absolutely. She went from the plucky baby face to she's out there. When I see you, it's on site.
Nick's just plucking everything.
Yeah. Just call me the Colonel.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, like you said, uber baby face, very like peachy key, smiley, and then just gradually started punching everybody. Everybody. It didn't matter who it was. It was just who's Roxanne gonna punch this week? So I think this match could surprise us at how good this match will be.
Oh, I think it'll be a fantastic Christ. Like you were saying, though, we had comments in the chat of like, who's Roxanne going to punch in the face this week?
Mhm.
It was literally, she was, the fucking Ty Domi of NXT out there. Just literally, when I see it's on site, I'm about that action.
What it sounds like is like she's like the lady from that movie Kill Bill, just going around just slicing and dicing whoever she sees. That's what it's given from the way y'all talking.
Oh, she was literally in backstage segments and somebody would say something and then all of a sudden she just comes in like a fucking wrecking ball and just throwing hands.
Yeah, just scrappy dude, just ready to go.
Yeah. Put him up.
I'm gonna wait till Tuesday night to make my picks. All right, Brandon. Well, let us know. I got Roxanne winning. Most people seem to. Cody Rhodes will finish his story. I don't think that's on topic.
Spoiler alert. No,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Trust me. We got lots to argue, and we're gonna get through these ones quick because I think some of the main card ones are gonna make us fight. But yeah, no, Vance, Roxanne for the win. I think the majority of people are leaning towards Roxanne. I think one person took Bird Lady. So there we go.
It's the title she never lost. It's respectfully, it's the title that it's much like Thunder Rosa on AW. It's the title Roxanne never technically lost. So
yeah, facts. All right. The World Championship, the NXT title will be on the line. The surprising contender, I would say, Tony D taking on Ilya.
I don't see Ilya losing.
I mean, I kind of have to go with the Paisan. I feel like I was pegged into a corner with this one a little bit. But even then, still, I think we've talked about this enough at least. Even when it was Ilya versus Carmelo, does Ilya move up to the main roster? Christ, you give me Ilya versus Gunther at any point for anything, for any reason. They could be fighting over a fucking croissant for all I give a shit. And I'm all the way to watch that match. So Tony D, as much as I don't right now feel like he's built at that level to be the NXT World Champion, I think it's season premiere, new season starts over here. There's going to be a lot of cleaning of house, I feel, of old NXT to an extent.
A little bit of shuffle, a little bit of Yahtzee going on.
Sounds like it's a weekend of just cleaning house. That's what it sounds like.
I feel like I've been doing. But Lyra with the win for that. But that's my one question with this one is Tony D ready to be the face of an entire brand? Has he done enough to be the guy?
That, I mean, as the backer of the Paisan, I mean, it's very questionable. It's very questionable.
And for me, that like watch highlights of NXT, I've never heard of Tony D. So, and so this is like, if I haven't heard of him, I'm like,
the disrespect.
Maybe he's not ready to run a whole brand.
You're missing all these vignettes from Olive Garden. You're missing all these.
Right, you're missing the one set all the time. Do you even know about Lady Rizzo or anything like that? Do you even know about Crucifixo? That was the attorney turned, part of the family and everything. You're missing this whole story.
I'm missing.
Like, I only watch highlights of The Sopranos, and I don't know who Tony is.
Right. Well, yeah. Julian has a really good thought here, though. Tony is turning heel, which he kind of was a heel, but then people really kind of started liking his gimmick here. So does he just dig in and become a full-out heel boss type?
But what would make him, is it him being a heel and he kicks out Ilya type of thing? Does that just make him more of like, it adds a layer to his character versus he's a true heel? Because like if he turns heel here, I assume that the guy that he's turning heel on is not in NXT anymore. So go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking if he cheats, uses the family to get the title and Ilya is moving on, and then he moves forward as like the boss of the show with a faction behind him that, he kind of runs things for whoever the next, if Trick Williams is coming up next, Trick versus heel Tony.
I'm okay with it though, because it adds a bit of layer that's been lacking. Like you said, the best way to describe Tony D'Angelo right now is Olive Garden. He's not fully, out there with the Paisans having a good, gabagool or anything. He's very much Olive Garden. So if he adds that heel turn layer, and especially he's got to be a heel, anyone that's going against Trick is going to be the heel, point blank, period. So might as well set it up now. So that's not a bad show.
That's an interesting point, because if it is Trick who's on tap for next, and we'll talk about his match as the main event. It's been announced as the main event as well.
Right.
But that would be very intriguing, because Ilya Trick, now they've gone before, and there's nothing wrong with a babyface matchup when done right, but Trick chasing Tony might work better than Trick going against Ilya again.
You get length to it, I feel. You can extend that out. So maybe Carmelo is on, again, this is all spoiler alerts, maybe Carmelo's on the main roster and he can, run away from that for a little bit.
Fair enough. Richard saying that he was in a tag team for a long time, so he needs a bit more singles time before giving him the belt. Yeah, like I said, I was surprised they became the contender.
Yeah, but I mean, it did fit with setting up Carmelo versus Trick, which
very much so.
That should be the last match that we have to talk about.
There you go. And Almighty Black Adam says, I think the Dawn is ready. That's it. I mean, sometimes you got to become the Dawn out of it just happens. Whether you're ready or not, you're in that role, right?
Kind of thrown into that position, yeah.
Sometimes the Dawn chooses you, and sometimes you choose the Dawn.
I knew it was you all along, Fredo.
Right.
But the main event of Stand and Deliver, not a title match, which is crazy, because for all the title matches we have, this is the biggest match we're all waiting for.
Yeah, but I think you nailed it right there on the head. Sorry to cut you off there, Anthony, if you want to say anything. But with the whole, I knew it was you, Fredo, all along. That's what this whole fucking story is literally, this is brother betraying brother here. This was, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. They were bonded together, and now you've had that double cross, crisscross applesauce shit.
Yeah, whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. That's what's happening. That is what's happening at Stand and Deliver. Easily Trick Williams taking this. I think if we're talking about people being called up, it's definitely going to be Carmelo Hayes. So Trick has this in the bag.
Yeah, I think this is Tricks. I think Carmelo's gone, as good as gone. This is his farewell. He'll put his friend over and move on. I mean, I think it's going to be an outstanding match. Two guys that know each other extremely well, but I do think it's Trick's time. And if Trick isn't on his way up with him, he is the next guy in line for an NXT title very soon. So, I mean, whatever happens with Ilya and Tony, Trick could be barking up that tree real quick. So they better be prepared.
Oh, absolutely. I think, Carmelo's already pretty much been called up on SmackDown. So this is all forgotten conclusion here of Trick wins this. Now, do we, yes or no, if we get a Lash Legend smooch midway through this match at some point here? That's the betting odds. That's, I guess, the best betting odds here.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Metaphor's been pretty quiet going into Stand and Deliver, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with KJ. I'm not sure here.
Maybe post match, like a Lash, we did it, and she comes running out. maybe, but most people seem to be thinking that Trick is the favorite to win this one. Trick for the win. Trick.
It's Tricky to Rocco, Ron. That's right on time. It's Tricky.
So not much debate there. So
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, just to remind everybody who's watching us right now, we will be live at 11:30 a.m. next Saturday to kick off it's kind of the kickoff to the Mania weekend. It technically starts on like Thursday, but we'll get into all those details. But we have bonus shows all week long. We will be here tomorrow for Raw and then all the way through. But we go live at 11:30, Stand and Deliver. We will have that. And then we're just going to stick around and give you guys a chance to win prizes. We're going to do a little sing along with the Chapeau. We're going to do a little bit of guess the wrestler with the crew. But we're going to have a good time next weekend. And be there for that. But that is Stand and Deliver. It looks like it's going to be a good show, guys.
Yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to be solid. I don't really watch NXT on a regular, but I'm definitely going to tune in to Stand and Deliver to see what type of matches are going to go down, because anytime like there's a NXT premium live event, I do try to watch and they always deliver. So it reminds me a little bit about TNA. Like every time they have a pay-per-view, TNA is delivering. So it's like that with NXT as well.
I would debate this, and it's been a whole year since I watched
No.
the last one. Well, no, I'm just saying of that to where Stand and Deliver this year is going to be better than it was last year. And like that's what I was saying. It's been a whole year since I watched last year, but I would say that stacked and action packed. But
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one for sure. The matches all have a lot of potential. We're not even sure. Like I know there's rumors that they might add one or two more matches. I think they're not going to add too much more than this, but what they do have, solid title matches. Everything's important. Everything has a build to it. And I think there's a lot of potential there. I think Bird Lady and Lyra could really show up and show out. That triple threat match might be insane with Oba, Dijak, and Briggs. That might surprise a lot of people.
Oh, that's going to be a big, beefy boys slapping meat. That's going to be people going through barricades, just all the things getting broken.
Yes, they announced it, Nick. What did they announce, Dro?
What?
I don't know. Context is king.
Oh, have they? No, he was asking about if they've announced the Andre Battle Royal.
Yes, Friday.
They have.
Yes. And Andrade could win the Andre.
Definition of irony.
Right. Bacon Club for life. Yeah. Brunch with the boys. Early morning rise, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be a good one. All right. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to dive